All right, welcome back. Let's go through the water cards now for Opus 22. There's some cards in here I'm a little excited for, some cards I'm a little terrified of. So let's start with one of the cards that I'm excited for.
All right, we have the water summon of the cycle, 3 CP Anima 10. Choose a forward opponent controls, remove it from the game. Your opponent draws a card. And then it has the cycle rider. If the CP paid to cast this was only produced by backups, you also draw a card.
All right, I'm going to say it right now before we evaluate this card. You can't evaluate this card as a 3 CP card. This is a 2 CP card because of Opus 1, you know?
Yep.
Yep.
You don't play this card, I don't think, in any deck that's not playing that Una. Maybe you do, but I think this card is significantly like so much better with Opus One Una that it's like I'm not even like I'm only playing this currently in decks that are playing that card.
Yeah, which is thematic, right? Because it's a 10 summon. It's anima.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's a 10 summon that's very relevant to the story. But yeah, this card's like on demand removed from the game is amazing, right? It's the best form of removal you can ask for. The only downside is the opponent draws a card, but I know that there's so many ways to mitigate that. If we're playing like ice water, we can make, or like ice water earth, we can make them discard the card they drew. If like, for example, with like Unalesca, right, you can pay 2. Like I say, you have Una and Unalesca, you pay 2, kill something, they draw a card, you Unalesca, you Unalesca the card you draw and the card they drew. The fact that if you're in a control mirror, this forces your opponent to draw, right? They can't choose not to, so you can potentially reduce their deck size, so you can win by just stalling out. Overall, a win. This card's the best of the set, or the best summon of the set by far, I think.
Yeah, like this is an effect that I don't think like Earth Water Chaos Arc. Like the only effect that just said kill something was Arc, and so you don't always have chaos on the board, right? So
yep.
Like being able to just now have the option to just say I need to kill something now and kill it for effectively 2 CP, right? Early on it's going to cost you 3 CP, early on it's going to cost you effective 4 CP, right? Because your opponent's drawing a card. But like once you and your opponent are both drawing the card when you need to, and then you can start, late game using the like having the option to just say, okay, now I'm going to stop drawing the card off this and start milling you out with this card is also nice. This card's felt pretty good so far.
Yeah, I love this card. I love that it's just like a unconditional removal. It's the Swords to Plowshares of this game, and I'm glad it showed its face after 22 sets. The one thing I'm triggered about is that there have been anima before, but it's the FF13 anima. But that one took the name anima, and this has anima 10.
Anima X, yeah.
Yeah, the other one should be anima 13 because this is the OG anima. But
when you say anima, this is what I think of, not that
exactly.
garbage.
Yeah.
So one thing actually in testing I have found is that I don't like this card against FF8. I'm not gonna lie. Like when you are not casting this for like off the backups so that you're also drawing a 1, like that deck was playing its forwards for free, right? Like you played Cypher, they played it off, or you kill Cypher, they played it off Squall. You just made them draw a card basically, and they took a card back off of Cypher too. So it's like I feel like this is good in like the more mid-rangey matchups, and so maybe it's just making a good matchup already better because KSR kind of shits on mid-range anyways, right? That's the whole deal. like I don't know. I can see a world where this ends up actually not being the card that you need for the matchups that you need it, but I think that you could also just justify it as like you play this as part of your removal engine and then you focus the rest of your cards on dealing with aggro, right?
Yeah, I think this card helps. I think in a control mirror, whoever has this card and is favored against the one who doesn't.
Yeah.
Because it just removes any big, huge, bulky threat, and that's what you want, right? It doesn't solve the issues that it has with aggro, but it helps. Like if you're on the control mirror, I think you're hurt by not running something like this.
Or even just killing a Ramza is like a big setback against knights. Like I think there's other like aggro decks that this is good against.
Combo control.
Kill lightning too. FF13 if that's still around the set.
Yeah, just make him. Yeah, you can draw your card. That's fine.
Any deck that is reliant on a specific forward for its aggro deck, I think that this is pretty good against those aggro decks. I just think that like we were just talking in the last video about how FF8 is kind of the deck to beat, and that deck, like all of its cards are the cards you want to be killing. You want to kill Adea, you want to kill Cypher, you want to kill the two that are giving it haste, you want to kill Squall, you want to kill Selfie because it's giving other stuff haste. Like, it's. I feel like it's. My opinion on this card is probably biased because I've played more against 8 this early on in the set than other matchups. So,
fair.
Yeah, but I think this card is very solid.
Those are all cards that Blue historically has issues with because like Blue's targeted removal is all about bouncing, and if you're playing against aggro, you're just gonna play it out again.
Well, I mean,
and get the ETB and just like it's not a big hit on the resources to bounce like a 1 CP forward or a 2 CP forward.
I mean, the bouncing is actually like not that bad against some of the aggro decks because if you like are if they don't have backups, right, they can't just immediately play it back out. Like they have to pitch like you're making them discard cards again, right? And it's like if they already have the cards that they were gonna be searching off of the search anyways, it can,
it's hard to evaluate bounce because bounce is right now in the best spot it probably ever has been because it removes LB cards.
Yeah,
but
Une this set, oh man,
yeah, Une's always busted.
So I feel like, but you're right, like this I feel like like those cards water also traditionally has issues with, but I do think that this is like an effect that water hasn't had really.
No, it's good. I like it.
It's basically like a power crept bounce when you think about it because they still get the CB back like the way that they do the bounce, but it randomizes the card that they get back.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's a cool way to think about it.
When you think about it, bounce CP wise, it's the same as bouncing.
Great. That's actually a good comparison. Interesting.
Oh yeah, so this is, well, I guess the bounce levy has EX on it, right? So the 3 CP bounce levy.
Yeah, but in general, like he's saying, like effectively your pain.
I'm comparing this to the bounce cards that I'm thinking of. Yeah,
that's a good. I like that analogy actually.
Right. Anything else we're playing this in?
No. Well, anything that runs you, basically.
FF10 decks.
For
the theme.
Just for
Lulu gets this back, makes something a 5k, and then kills it instantly. All right, moving on.
Making a statement. Next up, we have a 5 CP Gorilla Job Knight. If a Job Knight forward other than Gorilla you control is dealt damage less than its power, it becomes 0 instead. And when Gorilla ETBs, reveal the top 5 of your deck, and you can play up to 2 Job Knights with a total cost of 4 or less from those 5 cards onto the field, and return the others to the bottom of your deck in any order, and it is a 9k.
Yeah. I went through the same issue when I first read Wall 7. I'm like, oh my god, you have to like restrict your deck so much. to get the effect, to get 2 cards. I don't know if this is gonna be good. There's enough knights. That's the part that I didn't realize. You know how many 2 CP knights there are? There's a lot of 2 CP knights. This is way better than I thought it was.
You know the hidden text that I didn't read on this? It plays Laswell. And I did not realize how busted Laswell is when you can play him in Firewater Knights.
Yep. I think this goes back to the limit. If limit break wasn't a mechanic, then we can't go as greedy. But now that limit break is a mechanic, we can go into 3-color decks that play their ice cards off of this, and if you draw them, you just play one of the very nice ice limit break cards.
Yep,
doesn't
really
matter.
Good ones.
It's great. I love this card. I am a knight simp. I top 8 like the last standard camp with knights when they were like mediocre, and I cannot wait to go back to the deck now that this card is revealed. We didn't put it here, but I'm going to talk about it. There is also a new 1 CP Knight Agrius that at first I thought, why would I ever play that when I'm playing 5 CP Agrius? That minus 7k something, especially with the new Garland at 5k. No, but the fact that 1 CP Agrius is another body. At first I thought I always want to be hitting 4 CPs with this, right? I want to hit Gawain. And yeah, Gawain is good. And Garland is okay to hit off with this, but hitting 2 forwards, it's the same thing as Wall. And that's what you want to be doing. So you want to put an insane amount of density of 2 CP and less Knight so that you can almost always hit 2. And if one of those is named Last Wall, you are cooking. You're dual freezing 2 things as soon as it comes in. So it's so good.
And the other text that I didn't like, the other hidden text of this card that I didn't think about is that this costs 3 because of Beatrix.
It costs 3 because and also if you kill it, Ramsa brings it back.
Yep.
Because why not?
Or I've seen people like pitch this early and then like they do the Ramsa warp turn 1 and then pitch this early for like even just like playing Beatrix or something, like, or just another card or their backups or whatever, right?
Their backup, yeah.
And then Ramsa gets it back, yeah.
Yeah. Mars had to search. I think honestly, I'm on the boat that you don't do that. I think you always like search a backup and warp Ramsa turn 1, then play this turn 2. Get 2 things, and then Ramsa's coming. Like you want to kill it, because Ramsa's going to bring it back.
I think I don't think I realized actually the first line of text. It damage dealt less than its power. Yeah, it's the Minwu backup. I didn't realize that that's not just abilities. That's also during combat.
Yep. It synergizes very well with Beatrix. That buffs things. It prevents stuff like it makes like Ferris math kind of weird because that 1k ping is sometimes what kills the things, and that 1k ping is not happening, right? So, and look at this artwork, man. Winner in my book.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure we're getting another Knight next set as well. Like we've already been spoiled on the art for it. Another FF11 Knight. One thing that I actually did not realize how sick it was until we started talking about it. Let's see. The Delita, the Ice Earth Delita. So we're already playing Ice, so this counts as like an Ice pitch card for our Laswell or whatever. This plays Delita. And the other thing, the 2 things that Delita lets us do, so A, it gets back character of cost 2 or less in our break zone. We can get back Miwa, which we're going to talk about later, our Laswell, our bunch of our 2-cost knights. The other thing that I didn't realize until we started talking about it is that we can play Delita and then splash for Mott in our LB deck, and Mott in Knights is like really good because of the Ramsa tap effect. Ramsa says tap 4 Knights, choose a forward, break it, deal a point of damage. We're going to talk about another card that's going to be like very strong in Knights because of that, but the Karila just lets us splash for those types of cards. And like I said, like you were saying before, LB lets us play cards like that and not worry like, oh, we draw this and it's a dead brick, right?
Right. Pat, am I like? I just realized she's 11. Pat, am I ever like star sibling for this? Playing Earth Knights?
I was like thinking that, or like like Rampare.
Rampare for this? Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think especially with Beatrix making it 3 anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's a little too cute for that.
Oh man, but using this like a ramp tool, because we got the new 3CP Knight, we got the two 2CP Earth Knights, Segwarides and Pelennor. No, Segwarides and Pelennor. Because this only searches Drop Knights.
Yeah.
Segwarides and Pelennor, so we ramp up. I don't know. Could be something cute there. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, I think that might be too cute.
So the very first Octagon set that I played, or the very first Octagon game I played this set, was against somebody playing Knights, and I saw somebody. This is probably the one of the coolest things I've seen this set. I don't think it's gonna be that good, but it was like the coolest interaction I've ever seen. They warped Ramza turn 1, and then they played Lilty, and Lilty says flip cards until you get an ice card, which means that you get Laswell. And then the turn that Ramza was warping in, before the warp counter like got removed, like while that auto ability was still in the stack, they pitch Karila. They play Leviathan Opus 20, the one that play, or Opus 21, the one that plays a 2-cost. They play Laswell. Ramza warps in. It dual freezes my backup. Ramza then gets the Karila that they pitched for the Leviathan.
That is so... And that costs 4 on your turn. Oh my god. Bro, that person was cooking.
They were cooking. I was like, what? How do people even come up with this shit?
We're cooking so much. Jeez.
The Lilty for the Laswell like was icing on the cake. Like I was like, how in like on earth did you come up with this?
Jeez.
That's too early to be using for Night Laswell triggers on turn 2.
Like turn 3, yeah. Well, it was Ramza warp is warp 2, right? So it was turn 3. Yeah, but so I had backups for him to be freezing like all 4 of them, right?
Right.
That's hilarious.
That was probably the coolest thing about Karila. So I don't like these reveal 5 cards. I think they're like starting to get a little cursed. With wall 7 last set. Reveal 5 is just so cursed.
Well, reveal 5, if it's 1 target, it's fine. It's like 18 cards minimum, but when it's like 2, that's when it gets funky.
Yeah. Alright, anything else before we move on?
Nope.
Alright. FF5 cards, baby. My favorite game.
Alright. Next up, we have 3CP Siren 5. When 1 or more forwards you control are chosen by your opponent's summon or ability, you may put the top card of your deck into the break zone. If that card is not a forward, cancel the effects of the summon or ability. And at damage 3, if Siren 5 is dealt damage, reduce the damage by 1,000, and it is a 7k.
So if Lulu was worse than I thought when I first read it, is this card like better than I thought when I first read it? Like this card's like actually kind of good, isn't it?
That's great, yeah.
Like I read it and I'm like, oh well, you know, it's like sometimes it cancels stuff and it's only a 7k for 3CP and doesn't like actually do anything else. But like this feeds the break zone for Leno Leviathan, and your opponent doesn't want to turn all of their card effects into coin flips. Like all of their removal into coin flips.
Yep. It's a scary card. I mean, the more non-forwards you have in the deck, the better it gets. But even when you have like 50%, 50-50, right? It's like flipping a coin. It can get kind of spooky. It's just the threat of it. It's like, okay, I have this play, but if he cancels, I lose. So if you force your opponent to do like one play that they wouldn't otherwise do because of this card, I think you're kind of ahead.
Mm.
That's the way I see it.
So the only reason that I'm like, maybe, is because we have a lot of free removal now. We were just talking about how broken the Dread stuff is, and that has 2 free removal effects. Now, Cypher is a committal one, so if you swing Cypher hoping to kill, like, Une or something before dealing damage, because it's, like, only a 7k or something, and Siren cancels it, then, yeah, you get to block now. But, like, a day, you just target Siren, and then if it whiffs, all right, just do it the next turn. You still milled 2, right?
Right.
So I feel like as removal becomes more and more efficient, this card gets worse and worse. That said, blanking an arc to make it so that you don't have to discard 2, I mean, they cast arc for free, but that still feels good. Not discarding 2.
Right. No, I think this card's quite a winner. The fact that it just protects everything and it's not once per turn. Yeah. The fact that, I mean, the damage 3 is kind of whatever. But even then, like again, like we keep going back to Ferris. Like Ferris, like has a really hard time getting rid of this, right? It can't ping her, and whatever the 7k is the 6k now. So you have to like commit, and you have to go through the protection.
Oh wait, no. But Ferris though, like it has all of its different triggers, right? Oh wait, but it won't be able to kill this specifically because they're all 3Ks. Oh Jesus!
Typically this.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, and then everyone is a target, and now you have to like reveal from the top and maybe cancel one of them, right? Like stuff like that gets so awkward, right? And for an investment of 3, that's pretty good.
The only thing that I don't like about this card, I think it should be a 4 CP so we could Larsa search it, because we don't really have a good searcher for this that's not like Merylweb.
We go back to Sildra.
Yeah, whatever.
Damn, if only we drew cards in water. If you want to meme really, really hard, you play Lightning and you play Raijin Fujin. And if you whiff, you get a free forward. There you go.
Actually, you know what we really meme in this? Pat, you know what I'm going to say.
Oh my god.
Brainstorm Leviathan?
I wasn't even thinking of that. I was thinking we play this in the Black Waltz White Mage combo.
Oh god, yeah, actually that's not bad. We didn't put it here because he's garbage, but we got a backup like Water or Black Mage, so we're cooking.
Yeah, that card is really good for that deck.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's room for this because it's already like almost within Black Mages half the time. But like any protection is always welcome.
I don't. Dude, am I tweaking, or like it's like am I playing this in Lightning Water, right? And then what else am I doing? Hold on. We can play Mist.
You're milling the Lightning, the 2-color Lightning for its ability, and then you can play it.
We play Lightning. We play Raijin Fujin. We play Mist, the one that you can warp for 0 and everything. Listen, it looks at the top part of your deck, and you can like mill it. So you have more chances to. Oh, come on, we're cooking. All right.
Oh, but Mist. Oh, you're cool, right, because Mist also mills Raijin Fujin.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're cooking.
I'm telling
you. So the equivalent card of this in Magic is Counterbalance, which is it's essentially, I guess in FF terms, it's a monster that can't become a forward, and anytime your opponent casts a spell, you flip the top card of your deck, and then if it costs the top card of your deck costs the same as the spell that your opponent just played, you cancel the spell entirely.
Yep.
And in Magic, that card is abused with a card called Brainstorm, which lets you draw 3 cards and put 2 cards back on top, which is very similar to the 3 CP Leviathan in this game. So naturally, that's where my head went to as soon as I saw this card. Unfortunately, that Leviathan is 3 CP and not 1.
Unfortunately, Brainstorm is a legacy staple, and Leviathan is not.
But in a very high EX count deck, and I saw that last set, a very high EX count mono water deck that was already running that Leviathan. This is just like, a no-brainer.
Perfect for that, yeah.
I have a really greedy Une, Mib, Shinryu, Medine deck that I just threw Siren in because I'm only playing 12 forwards, and I was like, oh yeah, I have 18 EXs. Let me just throw in the Brainstorm Leviathan.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I'm gonna cancel things probably around 70% of the time. So yeah.
Card's better than I thought, but we'll see.
Same.
Yep.
All right, moving on.
All right, next up we have 5 CP Chime backup. Cat FFCC. And at the end of each of your turns, if you control 5 or more backups, draw a card.
I read this and I'm like, wow, this actually seems kind of good. And then I remembered it's still just not in the format.
I think I'm lower on this card than anybody I've met. Because people are like, oh, this is just Aldo. It's not Aldo.
Or Alice.
Alice, sorry. It's Alice. It's not Alice. Getting to 5 backups and this having to be your 5th backup, basically, is tricky.
So
it doesn't have to be your 5th backup, okay? But I think
even if we can play to 5 backups because Mono Water is playing 3 Loporrit, 3 Astrologian.
Right. But
and we just sack one of those.
We go back again to in the control mirrors or whatever. Sure, this gives you the advantage. But if you're versus aggro or even mid range, if you take off a turn to pay 1, sack Loporrit, pay 5 for this, that's probably what you're doing for the entire turn. And it's like, oh, okay, I'll take that, and I'll beat you up next turn, right? It's I don't know.
Yeah, we're not playing this in an aggro meta at all. But I mean, we were talking about how much we liked Guido.
Yeah,
and we don't have to Guido. We have to and be enabling and stuff. The only enabling is we have to get to 5 backups for this.
I mean, I also want to play a deck where not only can my opponent kill me, I can just kill myself. No, someone break this. I do like that it's not water backups though. That might be what makes it worth because Norstalin searches it. So
oh Jesus, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, Norstalin searches
those.
So again, there might be something there. It's not limited to water, so cool. We will see. I don't know. It makes the wind wall, the one that if you have 5 costs, it gets cheaper. This makes it cheaper. I don't know. There's something there. We'll figure it out.
What do you think, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, you never want to play this before your 5th backup, right? And I think that gives you time to find it. So you're okay not having so many searches, and you can search for it off Norstalin, but you're not gonna turn 1 Norstalin, turn 2 this, right?
Yeah. We find this on turn 1 and then we Loporrit it away for later.
Right. I think it's fine. I'm not excited about it, but I'd maybe play 1 of it.
Yeah, that's where I think this goes. A 1-off that you draw it in the matchups that you need it, and then once you don't, you pitch it. Yeah.
I don't know. Someone prove Emmanuel wrong because I want this card to be good. I like this kind of effect.
Please, I want to play Mandragora again. Please.
All right. Next card.
All All right, next up we have a 1 CP Piranha Monster, Category 10. On your turn, Piranha is a forward with 4k power, and when Piranha ETBs, choose a forward opponent controls and it loses 2k power till end of turn. At damage 3, when Piranha is put from the field into the break zone, draw a card.
What is this doing here?
Dude, I cannot believe you did not put this in. You play Wind Water Cat 10 Realm.
When am I searching?
You replaced Sahagin with this. Are you kidding me? This is a Cat 10 forward for Yuna. That realm searches.
Sahagin is the best monster in that deck. Are you high? Sahagin makes you draw off of like everything. No.
This draw is at damage 3.
When it you're high,
dude. This is one of the best monsters in the cycle.
It is absolutely not. No, it's not. Oh my god, no, it's not. It's like the second worst one.
You're worse than Sandworm and the Wind one. Worse than Moss Slasher.
Wait, what's Moss Slasher?
The lightning one.
It's good.
Oh my god,
that's a 7k. What's this doing?
Dude, you're insane.
No, absolutely. I want Tori Kelly here right now to tell us how this card sucks. I cannot. I'll just prove me wrong. Honestly, prove me wrong.
All right, I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm building this right now. Dude, see me on Octagon after this.
So the only thing I will say that I do agree, it's category 10. That's pretty nice. But most of the time with Realm, we're searching Evray early, and later we're searching Sahagin because the deck has a card on. It's pretty good. It's called Tros, and then Sahagin says on entry, draw off Tros.
No, nobody's playing 2 CP cards, bro.
Oh my god.
Actually, wait. Does that card bounce Leo? Hold on.
No, Leo's 3, right?
Oh, it is 3 or less. Shit.
Sahagin bounces
Fuck,
2.
You might be right. Shit, Sahagin bounces Leo.
Alright, never mind.
And Zach.
Fuck.
Take your
Alright. I might be coping.
No, it's 3 or less. Card's cracked. Alright.
Alright, I might be coping. Never mind.
Could we move on to Ferris, please?
Alright.
Alright, next up we have a 2CP Ferris backup, Job Warrior Light. When Ferris ETBs, you can remove a forward you control from the game. When you do so, your opponent selects a forward they control and puts it into the break zone.
This card for a common, it's really good. So, I'm gonna let Chris talk about the Warrior of Light aspect of it because it's a Warrior of Light and that's his thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that in Viking Pirates, this is unironically better than the forward.
It is. It's so bad. That card is like this card's better than that.
This turns on. We didn't put it here for some reason because I think the card's pretty good. The new Vaughn. There's a Vaughn pirate that if you have 2 or more pirates, he minus 8k something for 2, and this counts for that. It's a pirate. It's the only pirate backup we have. And Bika. This is searchable by Layla. I think, right? Layla searches any.
Does it?
Does it? Actually,
let me see.
Before I put out my foot in my
you
mouth.
may search for a job pirate or a card named Viking. Yeah, you're right. It does actually search this.
So Layla, oh god, that's actually pretty good. Layla searches this, and then you turn on Bika with this, right? Just this and another Viking. Turn on Bika for free. The one that requires 2 pirates or Vikings to be free. And like punting like a 1 CP Viking with this to make your opponent sack something, kind of nice actually. I think this card for that deck is great, and for other decks as well, as you'll see now. But yeah, this way better than the Legend Ferris in my opinion.
I know we always talk about Vikings whenever we talk about water, because it's like, oh yeah, it's what I was gonna say is that I think it is very funny that this has one of the worst jobs on it and one of the best jobs on it.
Yeah,
I think Vikings and Pirates is like super cope and like whatever, but Warrior of Light, what the fuck?
No, so okay. Obviously, it's not a competitive deck, but
no, obviously
for people who like that deck, this is a win.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is good for that deck. I'm just commenting on how like like one of the worst jobs and one of the best decks in the game.
Can I cope a little bit more, just really quickly?
Yeah. Go ahead.
You could technically, right? Because Vikings are not, even with all the Vikings and Pirates, that's not an entire deck. Like it's maybe like 30 cards or so. Okay, listen. You have this. You have listen. We can play Refia and Vikings.
I think you already were last set, weren't you?
Yes. So now we play Refia. We have backups.
Because we have Lena, yeah.
We have an arc that buffs standard units by 1k. Okay, a backup. We have 11. We have this. We have Refia now, and we have a Warrior of Light that we also didn't put here. That searches standard
units. Why the
unit.
fuck did we not put that in here?
I don't know, man. But I don't know. I'm on the hypercopium.
We'll talk about this after. There is one specific deck that this goes into, so we'll talk about it after the Warrior of Light.
Let's talk about the Warriors of Light now.
So this, when the card was first revealed, I was like, oh, but like we always play Fire Ferris, right? This enables Wind, Water, Refia, and like I think that Fire Ferris is still really good. But if we're ever in a meta where Fire Ferris, like the pings are just bad for some reason, like the best friend in the format is ever something that can't be killed by Ferris, like we could pivot to Wind, Water very easily now. Like obviously Tycoon now searches, well, now we also have a forward Lena that we can search off of King Tycoon. Did we add that?
The fire one. For we had a ton.
We did add that, yeah. So now we have another Tycoon target, right? And unironically, like remove a forward you control from the game, and then kill or make your opponent sack. Like it's not bad. Like you could replay Wall. I guess not in Wind, Water. There was like something that we were saying we could sack. I mean, obviously the Vikings we sack, right? But I thought there was something else.
I don't know.
I forget. I mean, we sack our blue worms if we want.
Ooh, that's actually really good.
Yeah. Sack a blue worm to make your opponent break something. And I think the thing that makes this card like actually playable is every other time that they print this effect, it's always like a 4 CP card and then mandatory effect, right? Like 4 CP, do whatever. Like this is, you don't have to do the effect, right?
Yep.
To get the like you could just say, okay, turn 1 King Tycoon, turn 2, or turn 1 King Tycoon Ferris, right? So like we also talked about Wall in the Win section. Because we have the Wall and Ferris now as backups, we can play Refia in just Wind, Water and have her live the turn that she comes out.
Exactly.
I still think that Fire Ferris is busted because damage 3 search a Wall is like just, I don't know why that card has that text. But if we're ever in a meta where that card isn't as good, we now have a pivot option for Walls. And I think that this card is really cool because of that reason.
Yep, I agree.
Pat, you got anything for this card, or?
When we were talking about things we could sack that Piranha from this slide before.
See, I told you.
Put it in the trash where it belongs. Yeah,
I cannot believe you don't think that card's good.
I agree. That card's not good.
God.
Oh, there's no way.
I can't believe. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
Before moving backwards.
Oh, this one's good.
Yeah.
We have a 2CP Miwa forward, Job Agido Cadet. It has back attack, and when Miwa ETBs, activate all of the forwards you control, and negate all damage dealt to them. So basically, clear all damage dealt to them. That's currently marked on them. At damage 5, when Miwa ETBs, all the forwards you control gain plus 2k power until end of turn. And this itself is a 5k.
So I read this and I was like, why did they print a combat trick at hero? Like they know the game, right? Like they know combat tricks are not that good, right? Like a back attack, activate all the forwards. Like, oh, you can make Sephiroth not live anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the very first game of Octagon, like I was saying, was against Knights. And somebody tapped for Ramza, killed something, flashed in Miwa, still on my turn, and broke another thing. And I was like, and did 2 points of damage to me. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it's an Agido Cadet. Miyu can search this too in color.
Yep.
Oh, God. Yeah. This card is.
Happy about this card. I'm very happy.
This card. Okay, do we play this anywhere outside of Knights? Question.
Very likely. It's a back attack forward. Those always kind of screw up your math.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to, like, even in mono water stuff, like I don't know, like you swing with Ash for free, right, and then threaten her reactivating and blocking something, and then if you're in at damage 5, your things are just like very threatening for 2 CP.
Mm-hmm.
It's too efficient, I think, at what it does.
Like we can swing with our forwards, and it's almost like better than Brave because your opponent doesn't know if we have it, so they have to play around it.
Right.
I mean, obviously, if we don't have it, then. But like we could just pretend that we have it in our hand, right? And they have to pretend that we have effective Brave on our forwards.
Yeah, I think every deck. I think people are going to be caught unawares by this card until people start respecting.
Yep.
That this card is a thing, because the fact that it activates everything is kind of dumb. It's not like one thing; it's everything.
Everything.
It's kind of
like reactivates Une too.
Yeah.
So you can play this, reactivate Une, block with Une, and then tap Une and get another summon back.
Yep.
You can get the Kusith back to get this back too. I don't. Yeah. So what else are we tapping with this?
Griever.
Or untapping, yeah, Griever.
Ew.
Yeah, I feel like we already have like the Rosa Sage in that deck.
No, I mean, why not have another one?
Another one? Oh, we untap the Mog too? Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, and Sarah Mobius.
Sarah Mobius. Ooh. Is there something that can tap to bounce one of your own guys? Because then you can just keep Miwaing forever.
We can tap 3 summoners and play Veil 4 and return Miwa to our hand. I think that's the only one that's like dual active things and then return them to hand. I mean, technically Hippocampus, but no. Yeah, Ico I think is the only other one that says like dual multiple of something and then get an effect. So, but I think. Like, do you think that there's anything here? My problem is I don't know what the payoffs are. Like, the thing with Ramza is that you just need Miwa, and then Ramza can do his thing again. The problem with Ico is that you would need another summon, right? So.
Right.
Do you play any in Warriors of Light for Refia? Maybe Windwater?
So the problem is Refia is only once per turn, right?
Oh.
Like,
right.
Ramza's not once per turn. That's why this is so good.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah. So, but it does let us, like...
Let's do it on their turn. Also, your opponent's turn, because it's not only your turn; it just says once per turn.
Yeah, but the problem is like Refia. The thing that's usually holding us back from doing the Refia effect is our backups, because we tap our backups for our forwards, and then we if we don't have enough forwards for Refia, then we can't do the Refia effect, and this only untaps our forwards, right? That's why we play stuff like Asura instead, because that's usually it does both, where it either untaps our forwards or our backups for us. And along with other things. So I don't see this with with Refia, but maybe honestly, because the thing is, this untaps wall too, right? So this fucks up combat math with wall. If ice dull freezes wall, now we untap it.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't think about this until now. And Miyu is a fire backup that searches this, so we have our fire backup.
Yep.
Hold on.
You're cooking.
I'm cooking. Hold on. Dude, Lena can get this back.
Yes.
So it can be in our break zone too. It doesn't even have to be in our hand.
Yes.
For the combat Shrek.
Yes.
Dude, I'm cooking this right now.
We'll be right back. All right. Let's move on to the next water card. Card's good.
Yeah, card's very good.
Next up, we have a 2CP Yuna forward job summoner. When Yuna ETBs, this turn the cost to cast your next Titus is reduced by 2, and it can't be 0. And when a card named Titus ETBs, choose a summon in your break zone, add it to your hand, and this only will trigger once per turn, and it is a 5k.
All right, let's get out of the way. It's card named Yuna. So we have to be playing this in a deck where we don't want Opus 1 Yuna or the forward Yuna, which I already don't like that card, so I'm more so comparing it to the backup. But
yeah, it's unfortunate. The name is unfortunate. I just feel like there's potential here for maybe not a full loop, but something close to it, and I'm just not seeing it.
I remember we talked about it, right? What did we get to with it?
I don't remember. We tried to make it work.
It was Chocobo. Oh, I think I remember posting a picture. It was we could
a picture of. I think it turned out to be CP neutral.
It was either CP neutral, or if we had Tilica, it was CP positive. But at that point, that's cope, right? So it was if it was a 3-card go CP positive, then it'd be doable. You go Lulu, Chocobo, Yuna, Titus LB, stuff like that, right? But it just doesn't work. The math doesn't work out unless we go super cope and play Tilica and shit.
Yeah, I just think it turns. So this has the potential of turning certain Titus plays into. So you don't gain any CP by playing this and then playing Limit Break Titus. You don't, because it reduces it by 2, but you're using a card from hand and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it essentially, let's say the turn you play that Titus, this gives you a forward, right? That you can't this gives you a forward that counts towards the 8 characters required for Titus.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he comes in, he also gets you a summon that you can use to further accelerate or protect your game plan, right? Mm-hmm. Essentially, if you're on that route, it sucks that it doesn't combo with the light Titus. That would be incredible, because that would mean that just this would make him 0.
Yeah, but can't become 0 is rough.
Yeah. There might be something there. I just don't see it. I wanted to show it off because it's an interesting card, a very cool card, but I just don't have the brain, the gray matter to think about it.
Yeah, my problem with it is that in decks where we have enough summons where we're playing this planning on recurring a summon, mm-hmm. I mean, the only summons that we're not reducing, I feel are Kuchulain, pretty much, right? everything else, like, we want to be reducing its summon cost with Opus 1 Una. And if we're not playing a summon heavy deck that we want Opus 1 Una in, then we're not going to have targets for this, right? So I think maybe there's an argument where if our backups are good enough that we're not playing Opus 1 Una, like we just play, Wako Operate, the free one, and Astrologian, and like, I don't know, a couple other backups, right?
Right.
If we're not playing Opus 1 Una, but we still have enough summons, then yeah, I think this is an easy slot in. I think the card's like generically good if our plan is to do Titus, right? And we have enough summons for this. It just feels a little restrictive in terms of deck building space. But I think the card is good in the decks that specifically want this. I just don't know, like, if those are going to be good.
No, I agree. Move on to the last card.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, what a card. We have 3 CP Lena forward, Job Princess, and Job Warrior of Light. When Lena ETBs, if there are 2 or more different elements among characters you control, draw a card. And if there are 4 or more different elements among characters you control, your opponent selects a forward they control and puts it into the break zone. And it is a 7K.
Have they printed a bad card named Lena?
I was gonna say that. Do they like love this character for some reason?
They should. Lena's great.
Cool, but we're back to the Prish conversation. Like, they really like these cards, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be completely honest. If this wasn't Lena, this card would be broken, right? Because getting this off of the other Lena would be so backup Lena. It competes with backup Lena, who is fantastic as a backup engine in 4-color. But if you're not on that engine, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It replaces itself and makes your opponent sack a forward, and you are never sad about that. Develop a body, draw a card, kill something. Yeah, they get to choose, but hey, you drew a card, they killed something. It's also Job Princess for what that's worth. It can, be searched by the backup Sarah. It can be searched by King Tycoon. Like, we could feasibly, I don't know, do the same chain but replace the backup Lena with. No, we're never doing that. We're always playing Ford Ferris. But I don't know. It's cool. I like it.
Like, the thing is, if we're not playing forward or backup Lena, then we already have another Lena that's like really good. The light Lena.
I think if we're on the full. Like, if we're not, for example, last set I was playing Darkness Manifest, right? And I think I wouldn't play Lena forward in that deck. I would probably play Darkness Manifest still.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't on that, if I go to the Princess Goblin backup line that you had, for example, I would definitely find room for this.
Yeah. Well, I was on Lena in that deck by the end.
Oh, by the end you were, but at the beginning, we discussed, we were on the debate of which of the two, which of the two backup lines were better. And like I said, I think the Princess Goblin, Sarah, whatever line was better at getting 4 colors early, sacrificing a lot of EX for it, which, made certain matchups worse.
Yeah.
But if I'm on that backup line,
I play this 1,000,000%. Yeah,
I'm okay playing this.
Like, in a 4-color deck that is somehow not playing Lena, like, this is a banger, obviously, right?
It's absolutely, like, playing this off of, like, playing Wall into this is kind of like playing something like Wall into Cecil into this, right? It's like, that's so good. So, I like it. Beautiful art. For me, keep printing them. I have the Lena Bart sleeves from Japan. I'm dying to use them. So
Lena Bart sleeves?
Yeah, so the artwork on 1CP Bart's, that artwork is on some sleeves that they only gave out, I think, in Japan, and I got a pack of those at Worlds. So yeah, they're my price collection. Banger.
Yeah. What do you?
Very straightforward.
What do you think, Pat?
I mean, I feel like you guys are the 4-color masters, so I'll defer to you guys. But I mean, I agree with you that every Lena has been good. And it's cool that they're balanced by the existence of each other.
Yep.
Like you can't just play all of them.
Yeah.
Well, one of them has an S.
Well, not title. Or.
Oh right, yeah.
Title 5 sounds kind of spicy.
Is Sildra legal in title?
Yes, it is. I think. Pretty sure it is. Damn, Title 5. That's the way to go. A billion Lenas. And just revive everything. Like,
Yeah.
We're good. We're good.
Yeah. All right. That pretty much wraps up the water cards, right? Is there anything else we missed? I guess we didn't talk about the Vaughn. Wasn't there another water card that we said we?
Warrior Light.
Warrior Light. Yeah. Where's that? There it is. There's one specific deck that wants this, and it's Mono Water Wall 7. Blue Water Warrior of Light card for the S ability. Now we can play Seraphithel and not feel bad.
Yep, and it has a fantastic EX where it searches your Loporets,
I thought this said forward at first. This searches Loperet? Like, what the fuck?
It searches back. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's S fodder. It searches any of the standard unit backups that we're running, a full 9 of them.
Yeah.
And it's fodder, and also like a funny thing. I thought this only buffed standard units. It buffs everything as long as you have standard units. So if there's situations where you have a bunch of standard unit backups, you can like play it and just make all your weenies kind of big,
or even like just have a 10k, right? I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, we're never planning on casting this in that deck, obviously. I feel like, honestly, but adding an EX burst though.
So okay, honestly, sometimes I am stuck with light walls in hand. I might like play this to literally go search out a backup and then use the light walls as the S for this guy, because then he becomes a 12.
Oh. Or you could even, like, what you could honestly even do is play this, search, like, Loperet, and then play Loperet and bottom your wall 7s if you, like, are stuck with it in hand.
Yeah.
Like, later in the game. I mean, I don't know. I still feel like you're probably going to end up playing wall 7 instead. Like, let's be real.
So 95% of the time, 99% of the time, probably.
Yeah.
But the fact that I have that option is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so actually he'll be at 13k, but yeah.
Yeah, but better card than I read at first, just because of exactly that deck. No other deck is playing this in existence.
I don't think so, no. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, alright. So that's all the water cards. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna move on to the light and dark cards next, and then wrap up with our thoughts on the set. So we'll see you there.